Hello makeup fiends, I've got another video for you now. This is going to be the first of my sort of arty sort of tutorials. If you watch my videos you'll know I am a very creative person and I love art, and so I thought I'd do something a little bit different and show you an idea I had and hopefully it'll go right. So these are what I've got here. These are my collection of ear studs. So as you can see I've got quite a lot in there, and I was very inspired not that one, by these little flower ones. So they're like little roses. Got quite a lot of these lovely pretty colours, and I've got some other lovely little studs in here, and I just thought sometimes it's very, it's a bit annoying. You go in there and you think, yeah, I want to find this particular earring, and you just search it around and there's a lot in there to go through, and I usually have to end up spilling them out. So I thought I'd make a jewellery holder where I can put a lot of those ones on. So here is last month's glossy box, and in here this is where I store all my Twistables pencils. Now you don't have to use pencils, you can use whatever you want. You can use paint, you can use colouring pens, colouring pencils, crayons, it really makes no difference. And you don't have to do the particular picture that I'm going to do. So I went to a bookshop and I bought this canvas. Now that's what you need because you want to be able to push your earring studs through there, and then you can put the backs on if you like, but that's really up to yourself. So I'm just going to go ahead and unpackage this and then we can get started. Okay, so here we go. This is totally unpackaged now. This canvas cost me £1.99, and that is going to be the only cost involved in this particular tutorial. You can get larger ones and you can get them all over the place. I have had them from pound shops before, so it's really worth looking around, and there is a larger one that I'm considering getting for another one, but I just thought I'd start with something small. So I'm just going to find the best place to put the camera and then we're going to get started. Okay, so I don't know if you know, but I have a little bit of an obsession about drawing trees, and I thought that would come in quite well here because the studs, there's quite a lot of them that are flowers and hearts, and they're going to look quite nice situated on the tree pattern that I'm about to draw. So I always start with the trunk, and here it doesn't matter if your lines are a little bit wiggly because it's a tree and it's an organic thing and there's no exact science. So I'm just going to bring that shape in. Going to have some roots down here kind of coming down into the grass. And really it's up to you, you can just have it going straight into the earth and that's fine. And then we're going to bring it up here, and then we're going to start with some branches. Again, it's up to you where you take them and what kind of shapes you do. As I said, there is no exact science to this one. Now it depends on how many earrings that you want to do. I'm going to bring a branch coming down quite low, and what I tend to do is I just tend to bring branches off. So I'm going to bring a branch off here, put a bit of movement in it, and then I'll bring a branch off from here. And I find it very relaxing to draw trees because, like I said, there's no exactness to it. It's just about how you feel and where you place things. So as you can see, that is starting to take shape there. So I'll just fill a few more of those branches in and then we'll get on to the next part. So just to kind of prove to you that it is my work, I just thought I'd let you see me continue to draw some more branches in there. Now sometimes it can look a little bit nothing at this stage, but don't worry, it's going to start to take shape. Okay, sorry about that there. So like I said, the beautiful thing about this is you can just keep adding to it, and then sometimes if you do make a mistake and you think a branch doesn't look particularly good, you can always take it in a different direction, add a few more on somewhere else, and then often it'll just kind of fix itself. So some of these branches, when you first bring them out from the tree, you want to make them a little bit thicker. These are the heavier branches of the tree and they will have a little bit more substance to them. As you go on, you can intermingle some of those branches because obviously some of them are just going to fit in behind the other parts of the tree. And it's up to you what you do. You could leave it as a blank tree if you wanted to. I have done a picture where I did that. But for this particular tutorial, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put some leaves on the tree to give it a bit more colour. So now I'm just going to shade in the trunk of the tree. I really quite like how the twistables look on this. It just gives it quite a nice... You'll not be able to see how dark it is, I don't think, with the camera, but it does have a really lovely coloration to it. Okay, so now we can go over some of the branches and we can kind of add a few more in, but this is what it looks like now. So here I think that I want to have a bit more in there. So like I said, this is the kind of thing where you just let it take you where it wants to and continue to add on. And don't worry about it, because when we add the leaves, it's going to look better again. Okay, so there is the basic skeleton of the tree. And sit there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add some leaves in. So I'm just going to gather some greens together and we'll do that. Right, so I've just picked a nice little selection of greens from my collection. And then I'm going to show you how I will go ahead and do the leaves. Now, because a tree can have, although it does have a lot of the same colours of leaves, depending on the light and which side of the leaf you can see, there's often a difference in the different variations of green among the leaves of the tree. So we'll put the different variants of greens, and that will give it a very natural sort of look. I can't use that one. Right, so what you want to do is, and you don't have to be exact, I just do like little shapes like this, so they're kind of like ovals, and I just basically put those in random places off the branches. And I don't make it too full, because obviously I'm going to choose a couple of different colours to put on there. But as soon as you start putting some leaves on, you can see it starting to take shape a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and fill some more of those leaves in for you, and then we'll have a look at what we do next. So as you can see here, as I'm adding leaves, it's now starting to take shape beautifully, looking even more like a tree with all these leaves on. And as you can see, it's very effective just adding those little ovals onto the branches. So you've got a little bit of a blank spot there, and all of a sudden you put a few leaves on and it really does look very pretty. So I'm just going to continue finishing them with this green, fill in with some more greens, and then we'll get on to the part where we finish off the bottom here. Okay, so back in a minute. Here, I don't know if you can see, but I've actually added some darker greens in here, so you're starting to see a little bit more dimension. Just realised I had the camera in the wrong mode before, so I hope that you can see that. So basically just little ovals, like I said, there's no particular science to this. It's just kind of building up the leaves on the tree, just to make it look full and healthy and just really pretty. So you just go around and you add them where you feel. I find it a little difficult to do this on camera. It's kind of the camera's in between me and the canvas. I hope you can see what I'm doing though. And the beauty about doing this on canvas also is that because it's canvas, you can see it has a kind of graininess to it. So if you make some little mistakes with those leaves, it doesn't actually matter, because it actually looks quite pretty and it looks like it is part of the actual picture. So don't worry too much about that. Like I said before, a tree is not an exact art, it's an organic thing, and all trees look different. So it's not like somebody could look at your tree and say, oh yeah, that doesn't look like a tree. Because, as I said, they're all different. Now you can see it's starting to take a dimension here. You can see where the darker and the lighter are coming together, whereas you just got the one tone of leaf here, and I think that's what gives the tree a lot more dimension, just having the different coloured leaves together. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the tree in this colour leaves, add a few more different colours, and then we'll talk about the bottom of the tree. As you can see, I'm now adding some lighter green ones in. Just wanted to quickly show you that I'm actually going quite quickly here, but it's because I just prefer to kind of go where I feel and not overthink it. And that's what makes the pictures of trees particularly pretty. They're very simplistic and you don't have to be super detailed about it. Obviously you want to stick to where the branches are, you know, you don't just want to plonk your leaves into mid-air, so you do watch where you're putting them, but you're not like super detailed about what you do. The lighter leaves again just give it a little bit more depth, a little bit more interest, and they do look really pretty. So I'm just kind of coming down and finishing off over here with the lighter ones. It's very difficult for me to show you, I'm really sorry. Hopefully you'll be able to see. And let me show you what that looks like now. So as you can see, our tree is definitely taking some shape now. It's got some very pretty branches coming down here. I may actually choose to add another one at a later stage, but I'll leave that for now and make it more of a weeping willow tree. But that's most of the greens. I'll probably not add any on there for now, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. And then I'm just going to take another green, and I'm going to take more of the thicker tipped twistable, and we're just going to come in where the bottom of the tree is, and this is just basically a little bit of shading. Again, it's not about being super exact, it's going to look pretty, but it's just on the canvas it does look nice. Here we're just going to put some flicks because this is the grass and you kind of want it to look like those are the edges of grass there. So I'm just going to go ahead and come across here and finish that, and then we'll move on to the next exciting part, which is the earrings. Now what you can do this now is you can choose to put a bit of a blue wash as the background for the sky. I'm not actually going to do that. I actually really like the way it looks right now. This is the tree. It's really quite a nice picture. I really love trees, and I just think that you could play around with this. You could even have a couple which are seasonal. You could have a very bare one that's short for the winter with no leaves on at all, just the skeleton of the tree. For the autumn you could have one that's all sort of oranges and reds and yellows, and I've done one like that and I really love the picture with the autumn tree. But we're going to go ahead and put some earrings on it now. So I'm just going to try and stand this camera up. And I'm going to pick out one of the earrings, one of the flowers. So I've gone for this very pink cerise one here. Then I'm going to take the post off the back. And what you want to do is just pick somewhere on your tree and push it through. And then I'm going to choose to put the backs on, just so they're not falling out, and also because I know where the backs are. So there you go. So I'll put a few more on and then we'll take a look at what it looks like when we've got more on. Okay, so as you can see here, I've made a start with it. Got lots of ones on there. These are mainly flowers. There's some hearts, but just because it's a tree doesn't mean that you can't put other things on. So I'm going to move this out of the way and kind of show you what we're doing. I'll put on, just to show you that you can put other stuff on it, I've got some little wedding cake ones, little pink ones, and you just take the earring and push it in. Don't be afraid of it, it just pops through. Canvas is not really super thick, so you're okay. You've got to be aware that obviously you've got your wooden frame around the outside, and just popping the backs on there. So at the back, you can see there's all the backs so that I don't lose them, and it also prevents them from falling out. But it's just a very pretty way to store them. So we've got one of the cakes in there. Now you can choose to randomise this and put them all over the place, so that you might have one earring down here and the matching one might be all the way up at the top in this corner. But I'm just going to actually keep the ones that I'm putting in fairly close together pairwise. So I'll stick that one in there. Again, I apologise for the nail varnish because I do a nail tutorial and I should have really took it off, but I haven't. So there you go. And then I'm not afraid to put some of my darker ones in here. We'll go, it's so difficult with the camera this way. We're going to go in near the top. Always be aware of where your frame is. And that one's just popped in there. Put my hand around the back and slot the back on there. And then I'll take the second one from this pair and I just pop this in over here so that you can see they're still fairly close together. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put something on that's a little bit different. Got these little button ones. And it's really up to you how many you put on. You could have it looking quite plain and not have too much. You could have it just for a specific type, like I've got all of these flower ones, and you could just go ahead and put those on. Or you could make it as busy as you want. I mean, it's a tree, so you know, it doesn't really matter how many you put on. It's best to keep it on the framework of the branches among the leaves, and it just looks like they're kind of flowers on the tree. I've also got these really cute little apples. I'm going to pop them in. I'll stick one on the branch here. There we go. And then we'll take the other one